On Osrc News at 7, Governor Ayedatiwa sets a panel to probe Ubonla communal crisis. Nigeria clears $3.4 billion IMF debt, exits debtor list. Senate demands military reinforcement in Borno, Yobe over Boko Haram resurgence. And from the foreign scene, Kenyan communities still await justice over lead poisoning rule. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7 on OSRC television. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbara. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has established a 6-member panel of inquiry to investigate the recent communal crisis in Ubonla community in Laja local government area. The crisis, rooted in dispute over traditional leadership, resulted in loss of lives and property destruction. The panel aims to uncover both the immediate and underlying causes of the conflict. The panel members include Justice Sunday Olorun Downsi as chairman, Justice Orimison Okorisa, Primate Afolabi Aboyewa, Mr. Amidu Takoro, Mr. Yinka Orokoto, and Mr. Dili Adesomi as secretary. Their mandate is to identify individuals or groups involved directly or indirectly in the crisis and to recommend measures to prevent future occurrences. Governor Ayedatiwa has charged the panel to conduct its work diligently without fear or favor and to complete the inquiry within 6 weeks. He also called on the people of Ubonla to cooperate fully with the panel to ensure a thorough investigation. The violence led to widespread destruction of homes, vehicles, and properties. 3 senators from was announced during a plenary session of the Nigerian Senate, increasing the APC's number of senators to 68 and further strengthening its majority in the upper chamber. The defection followed a closed-door meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, last Friday, which was also attended by APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje, Kebbi State Governor Nasiri Idris, and other party leaders. The senators cited prolonged leadership crisis and internal divisions within the PDP as key reasons for their decisions to switch parties. Following the defection, the Senate's composition now stands at 68 APC members, 30 PDP members, 5 Labour Party senators, 2 Social Democratic Party senators, 1 New Nigeria People's Party senator, and 1 All-Up Progressives Grand Alliance senator. 2 seats remain vacant due to recent death and political changes. In the meantime, the People's Democratic Party has officially submitted the names of Ezenwa for Jude as its governorship candidate and Okeke Chukwudi as its running mate for the upcoming Anambra State gubernatorial election scheduled for November 8, 2025. According to a letter addressed to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, signed by the party acting national chairman, Ambassador Umar Damagum, and the national secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, notified INEC of the outcome of its primary election monitored by the commission. The party also introduced the deputy governorship nominee. To comply with electoral guidelines, the PDP said it had submitted the required documentation. The party urged the commission to acknowledge. Justice Binta Iyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja has scheduled June 27, 2025 to deliver judgment on the suit filed by Senator Natasha Poti Oduagan challenging her suspension by the Nigerian Senate. The suspended senator approached the court over allegations of misconduct and claims of bias involving President of the Senate Gospel Akpabio and other defendants. Including the senator disobeyed a court order by posting a satirical apology letter on social media and in national newspapers. Apoti Oduagan's legal team denied the contempt allegations, arguing that the satirical letter was unrelated to the court proceedings and did not violate any court order. The senator also accused the Senate president of attempting to suppress our rights to free speech, maintaining that our letter addressed separate issues from the suspension case. The suspension, which began in March 2025, followed
April 2020 as the COVID-19 virus disrupted economies globally. Nigeria turned to the International Monetary Fund (IMF) for emergency financial assistance. With culminating oil revenues and urgent healthcare needs, the country secured $3.4 billion to stabilize its economy. 5 years later, on April 30th, 2025, the federal government announced it had completed repayment of the loan, removing Nigeria from the IMF's list of debtor countries. A statement from the IMF confirmed Nigerians' full repayment of the COVID-19 emergency loan. According to the IMF's latest data, Nigeria is no longer among the 91 countries with outstanding credit, as listed in the report titled Total IMF Credit Outstanding Movement from May 1 to May 6, 2025. Beyond fiscal housekeeping, experts say this development sends a strong signal to international investors, potentially enhancing Nigerians' credit rating and access to future financing on better terms. However, Nigeria still owes about $30 million in special drawing rights (SDR) charges payable over the next 4 years, amounting to over 190 billion naira.
The IMF loan repayments may be a step towards economic restructuring, but for many Nigerians, the real concern is how it affects the prices of goods, their daily earnings, and the overall economic stability.
To analysts, this repayment underscores a positive turn in Nigerians' fiscal management, while reinforcing the country's commitment to restoring macroeconomic stability.
It's a welcome development. It actually helps our system. It actually helps Nigerian government not to pander to the dictates of IMF. Because if you are he who pays the power dictates it soon. And the economy of IMF all over the world can actually be damaging to any country's economy. So paying off such keeps Nigeria in a good state, and also of course makes us credit worthy to take further loan. So it's a welcome development. It's actually commendable at a time we feel that the economy is trying to rebound and struggling.
Yeah, the principal have been paid. So what is left now are just interest, $30 million or thereabout, which gives you a good position to draw up more. So if you need to borrow more because you have paid the one that was outstanding, then you can then borrow more. So that gives us good standing. Again, that speaks to credibility of the government, because you can then go back to borrow. You never know, you may have that need to go back to borrow for one national priority or the other.
Yet, Nigeria remains indebted to other multilateral lenders like the World Bank and African Development Bank. While the IMF loan repayment is commendable, economics emphasize the need for strategic borrowing, prioritizing loans that will generate long-term economic value.
Distributing wealth in Nigeria is a major factor. Nigeria is blessed, but we cannot spread this because of our tendencies in Nigerianism.
There is no nation that is not in debt. Even in the US, they are highly indebted to most of these agencies. But what they normally do is that in economics we have what we call the good debt and the bad debt. Once the nation is able to channel its debt or our debt towards infrastructure and direct benefit of the people, that in itself is a good debt. But once you have a debt that you can't really account for, that puts a nation in a kind of economic distress. And that is why we still want to employ the president to do more, so that the economy can really be well positioned, and Nigeria can have a kind of financial credibility that can make investors.
Calls are growing for increased transparency and for future debt to be invested in productive sectors that drive growth create jobs, and reduce poverty. Blessing Obe, Osrc News.
You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break, Senate demands military reinforcement in Borno, Yobe over Boko Haram resurgence. Please do rejoin us for this and more.
Go.
Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website and Osrc TV, and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. The Ondo State Police Command has confirmed the kidnapping of the APC Ward 5 chairman in Osrc local government area, Mr. Adekboyigi. He was abducted around 10 p.m. Kidnappers reportedly stormed his compound, beat him with sticks, and took him away before his wife could intervene. Police spokesman Olayinka Ayonlade stated that the police, in collaboration with local hunters, the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, and the Nigerian Army, have launched a manhunt to rescue Adekboyigi. The police urged the resident to remain vigilant. The state commander of the Amotekun Corps, Adetunji Adeleye, also confirmed that his men are actively searching for the kidnappers and assured that efforts are ongoing to secure the safe release of the APC chairman. Meanwhile, a coordinated operation by the Ondo State Security Network Agency Amotekun has led to the safe rescue of 5 kidnapped victims from their abductors in different parts of the state. Commander Adetunji Adeleye confirmed that the victims abducted along the Ikariowo Road and Lagos-Ore Expressway were rescued without the payment of ransom or loss of life. Our correspondent Abid.
The parade we have today is a bit different from what we used to have. Today, it is the harvest of victims of kidnap without one kobo ransom paid. In the first instance, the government of Ondo State is doing everything to ensure that the safety of lives and property in the state is guaranteed. Therefore, all security agencies, especially their own, which is the Amotekun Corps, have been mandated to enter the forests in the last few months. The result across the 18 local governments is what we are showcasing today. We have one Stanley Ayo Aderoye, Olatunji Sidikat, a couple, and Olatunji Maruf that were kidnapped at Nairobi along Lagos or the route it is. Within a few minutes of this occurrence, they contacted our distress call line and mobilized men to enter the forest. They were kidnapped and ransomed him. We acted on credible intelligence and were able to release this victim unarmed. He has been receiving medical attention from our medical facility. What are we asking for? Credible information from the public. We want to assure you that all these information will be treated in very strict confidence, to such an extent that these lucky 5 people will translate into ensuring that the perpetrators of this evil act will understand the body language of the government of Ondo State.
Ondo State Amotekun Commander Adetunji Adeleye is speaking there on the rescue of kidnapped victims in Ondo State. In the meantime, the Senate has called on the military to urgently redeploy troops and advance equipment to Borno and Yobe states amid a resurgence of Boko Haram attacks. This follows the killing of over a dozen soldiers in Mati town and an attack on Gajiram, both in Borno state. The Senate emphasized the need for modern technology and adequate troop strength to counter the evolving tactics of the insurgents, such as the use of drones and improvised explosive devices. The Senate also mandated its committees on the Army and Air Force to monitor the redeployment and ensure compliance with the directive to strengthen military presence in the Northeast. Road users in the state have been Nigerian Meteorological Agency NAMET has projected that Lagos, Delta, Bayelsa, Cross River, Akwa Ibom and River States will experience the highest number of raining days in 2025, ranging from 250 to 290 days. States like Ogun, Oyo, Ekiti, Osun, Ebonyi, Anambra and Enugu are expected to have between 200 and 250 raining days, while central states such as Niger, Kogi, Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kwara and the Federal Capital Territory FCT will see 150 to 200 and Borno are forecasted to have 110 to 150 raining days. And total annual rainfall is predicted to vary significantly across the country.
Those who are coming are about stealing the road. He who has ear. Papa Ike Clegg has gone. We shall all go like this. Whether you like it or not, you might be here for 120 years. But one day you will go. And the Lord said, I should speak. And I have spoken. That a good name is better than riches. Jumping after riches. Jumping after offices, jumping after position, jumping after gold will not save us. One day, we shall all come down like this. Happy are they that we get burial like Ike Clegg. Some people that died, were they buried? Those who died in Susuliso, air crash, did you gather their pieces? They burnt to ashes. Those who died in the sea, did you go to look for their dead body?
And now to the foreign scene. Residents of a Kenyan village say more than 300 people have died from the effects of lead poisoning they believe was caused by an old smelter last year. The Supreme Court ruled the Owino Uhuru community be paid $12 million and the area cleaned up. Locals say that hasn't happened. Odwayo Soya now gives us more on the story.
These residents of Owino Uhuru are discussing a case they won at the Supreme Court. They say they've lived with the effect of lead poisoning for years. A factory in the neighborhood was set up in 2007 to smelt ore to produce lead for export, but it ended up polluting their soil and water. Judges ordered the government to pay them $12 million in compensation.
Phyllis Omedo has been helping them get justice. She says more than 300 people have died as a result of lead poisoning.
Phyllis Omedo has been helping them get justice. She says more than 300 people have died as a result of lead poisoning. She speaks of Sammy, who was 5 years old. He died a few years ago. His mother has also since passed away.
Sammy fell sick. We took him to hospital, different hospitals. Unfortunately, what had happened to Sammy is that his playground where the children were playing.
The World Health Organization recommends that levels of lead in blood should not exceed 5 microgram per deciliter When the factory was operating, doctors say some residents had 800 times that amount. Doctors have managed to control Irene Akene's lead levels, but her kidneys are failing and she needs surgery to remove these growths on her throat.
When it rains like now, I get very cold. My whole body hurts. I'm always dizzy. Sometimes I can't even leave the house.
The residents recently took to the streets accusing the Environmental Authority of not doing much to clean up contaminated areas. Alfred says nerves in his legs have lost sensation and he needs his compensation paid immediately.
If I get the compensation money, it will go to my treatment. The government has refused to treat me. That money is mine.
The government has not commented on the plight of people here, nor their compensation. Many say this is their home, so they must fight on for justice from right here. Odunayo Sawyer, Osrc News.
And still on the foreign scene, the first group of white South Africans has arrived in the U.S. in a controversial resettlement plan. The Trump administration is giving them refugee status while refusing to accept pretty much everyone else. Adirunke Kolawole has details.
It is not every day that news cameras are here to watch passengers disembark, but this is an unusual sight in the US. People label